So it is a beautiful Thursday, I guess. We'll be heading back tomorrow. Weather has changed a little bit, cooled down. We're getting some rain. We got some rain yesterday. Just to update everybody, the road held up very well, and we're getting a little bit of rain right now, and hopefully the road will continue to hold up. But, a couple observations while we're here. Aaron's in law enforcement, and just kind of looking maybe at the economy of Alabama, what's happening in California. I will say this. There are a lot of police out here in full force, which is good to see out here in this area of Alabama. I've never seen so many police. It is good to see the police out here, very pro-police. We've just met some really, really great people. But one thing I really, really noticed, and I really want to talk about the observations here, social and economic. There's really literally no crackheads. And I'm not saying they don't exist here in Alabama. I know they do. But I saw one homeless person in 4 days. I've seen no crackheads, which is absolutely shocking because they are everywhere in California. The homeless are everywhere. So you could say, yeah, the economy in the Deep South is not good. But, I look at California, how much debt we have in California. I look at the homeless crisis in California. You don't have that here. Do we have homeless in Alabama? Absolutely. But do you have it at a crisis level? No. You don't have crackheads at a crisis level here in Alabama. It is a much, much more simple type of life here. It is way more kickback. And so, yeah, it's maybe not the greatest economy, but then I look at California's the economy, yes, fourth, fifth biggest economy in the world, but why are we running in the red in California? Why are businesses running out of the state? Why are wealthy people getting out of the state of California? The economy in California is the fifth biggest in the world. And now we're running a massive deficit in California. So maybe Alabama and the Deep South doesn't have a super, super strong economy, but you can go up to Huntsville and it seems to be booming up there. But I'll tell you what you do have here. You have freedom. You have people happy to have a job. You have people happy that they're working. They like what they're doing. It's just the service has been absolutely incredible. Whether it's somebody that's come to work on the house or somebody working in a restaurant, or we walk into a Tractor Supply, people they just want to help you. What have you noticed?
Well, first of all, the cost of living is you were talking about the homeless and all that. Cost of living is way down here. I'm sure they don't have all the social problems that are over there. So over there in California, they cater to all that stuff. And here I don't think they do. I was talking to one of the workers today, and I was mentioning one of the reasons you didn't come to Texas, and you were telling me that there was the issue with all the individuals coming over the border, and he was like, yeah, we don't have it here. And I said, really? Because I know they spread out over the country, but he said, no, they kind of take care of that stuff. I don't know what that meant, but he said that really wasn't an issue here. But yeah, no, everyone in the South is very hospitable, very friendly. We went to a restaurant, and one of the workers begged us to stay to eat. They asked why weren't we sticking around to eat, and we're like, hey,
takeout.
Yeah. So yeah, just very friendly.
And just to interject, one thing that you said a long time ago is that when you move, you're going to save 30 to 40% instantly. And I totally see what you mean by that, because you can see it with the gas prices, insurance, food prices. We're eating like kings for literally probably half of what we would pay in California. You can't even get that kind of food here. But on top of the great service, and it's just good to see the police, right? We've seen a lot of police driving around here, driving through the parking lots, the retailers. You're just not having, these crash and grabs like we're seeing in California and some of the really, really nice areas. They just don't tolerate the shoplifting. They don't tolerate the homelessness. They make it very, very difficult. And, if you're here and you shouldn't be here, like Aaron was just saying, they're going to make it difficult. And so it's a whole different world down here. And I've been here a few times. We've been here at the house for 4 days. And it's very peaceful. It's very calming. It's been really, really great. So anything you want to add to that?
Well, I guess I'll touch on the police thing. I think there's a lot of major cities out there where they don't have the backing of the mayor, backing up,
Los
the people.
Angeles.
Right. And so law enforcement is afraid to do their job because they're afraid if, there's sometimes in law enforcement where we have to make a split decision, what is that? Split second decision. And, police are afraid to do their job because it's like, well, what if I, do this or that? And they're worried about, using too much force when they probably should have used that force because they're worried about
second guessing.
Yeah, second guessing, which gets individuals hurt, gets the officers hurt, and so here I have a feeling that they have the backing of the sheriff, the mayor, all that, and so they're able to do their job, and then the people know that the police are going to do their job. So it, if you're in a major city and they know the cops aren't going to do anything, then they're going to do whatever.
And we had a contractor here today, great guy, and I was saying that in California you're worried about even protecting yourself as a homeowner, and he said that doesn't happen here. That doesn't fly. Like, and if you have an issue and the police can't be here, you have the right to protect yourself. So we really do like that. I think that's extremely important, where the citizens feel like they're not going to be the criminal if they have to defend themselves and their property and their family.
Yeah, you shouldn't be, at home and have to worry about that. You should feel safe at your house. If someone comes in that's not supposed to be there, you should be able to protect yourself.
So market's down today. Again, I think this is the fifth straight day the Dow's been down. And I want to say, I want to ask you this is, I think, I don't know, this week, $1 trillion has been lost in tech stocks. And is this .com 2.0 all over again? Is the tech industry or the tech market been completely overinflated? Is it a massive bubble? If this tech bubble goes, you have 7 major companies that have been carrying these markets. What if something happens in tech? We see another, .com 2.0. Could this be a crisis?
Oh, absolutely. They keep saying the stock market's up, and it is these 7 big companies that are carrying it. So those are the ones that the Fed, the government, whoever's coming in and buying all that, pumping it. Where if those were to go away, the stock market would probably, be half of what it is today, talking Dow Jones or whatever. But they keep pumping these stocks to keep the stock market up and keep everyone happy, saying, hey, the stock market's good, the economy's good.
So many people into tech and buying this stuff, and now we have a massive tech bubble. And so now, are we reaching the top of it? I don't know. Another thing, we were talking to somebody today with some very, very interesting news. I've covered many, many times about the threat of cyber attacks on our system, on our financial institutions, our banking system, our water systems, you name it, our infrastructure. And this is a very reliable source, gave you some information today, and it just really just verifies what we and all of you have been thinking for quite a while.
Yeah, so the gentleman that I spoke to, both of his parents are in the military, and his dad, I guess, is pretty high up in the military, high-ranking officer, and he told me that his dad has warned him, get everything out of the stock market, get all, pretty much anything electronic asset, you need to get it out and get it into something else. I guess his dad said, I can't tell you when, I can't really tell you more than this, because I guess he's signed, non-disclosure agreements, but pretty much that China and or Russia, they are going to hit us with an EMP. So, I mean, this came from someone that we just met. I don't know why he would just make this up, but kind of got talking metals and all these different things with him, and it came up, and I was like, wow. But I mean, we've been hearing this, so it doesn't surprise me. But again, I don't know why this guy would make this up. But
yeah, I mean, is it that far-fetched? No. We're getting attacked thousands of times a day by China alone with cyber attacks on our infrastructure. So at some point, something big is going to happen. It could be Iran, it could be Russia, it could be China, who knows? By the way, I guess Russia blew up some U.S. business over in Ukraine, and there is no peace. This thing is going to continue to escalate. And now we're hearing that Trump is having health issues. His ankles are swelling up, might be a heart issue. And they're saying this guy's just working way too many hours, way too much, and his body's beginning to break down. And, this could be a problem too.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So if something happens to this president, that no doubt is going to affect the stock market.
Oh, absolutely. And then who's running the country at that point?
I mean, I pray to God nothing happens. We don't want to see anything happen to anybody in the administration, whether that's the past or present. We want the best for the United States of America. I don't want to see the country fail. Whoever is in office, in charge, I'm praying to God that they do a great job and, defend and look out for America and grow our economy. And that, really hasn't been happening for many, many years. But, we can't just hate somebody because we're emotional and we just have this disdain for an individual and hate them more than, they hate this president more than they love the country. And I think that that's a really terrible thing. I just want the best for the United States of America. I'm not emotional about what's, the individual, what they look like, or, Orange Man bad, or, I just want somebody to run the country and look out for America. And I don't, want my emotions to play into it. I just want the best for America. We should be praying for whoever's in office, for whatever administration. We should be praying for this country, for the best. But there is so much hate for one man that they'd rather see, unfortunately, this is how I see it, they'd rather see the country collapse than this man have any success or for America to prosper. And that's really, really scary. But we are in uncharted waters as far as I'm concerned. There's something going on in these markets. Gold and silver, I think, had a decent day today. I haven't been following it too closely. But, there is definitely something coming to America. Another reason why I got the heck out of California. I don't want to be there. And when something erupts, and it is going to erupt, we're seeing the amount of violence and crime in many of our cities, the deterioration. And we've talked to many people here in Alabama, and they're talking about like watching California on the news. And I said, the news doesn't even show you what's really happening. You think that's bad. If you saw it in real life, it's like an apocalyptic movie. Why anybody would stay there, I have no idea. And I see a lot of people that make these videos, and they're telling us how bad things are going to be. I got to ask, why are you not talking about or making plans to get out of California? If you know how bad the state is, if you know how bad the condition in the United States of America is, why are you staying in these states? If you're really walking the walk and you really think it's bad, many people, I have kids. Well, get your kids out of the state of California. Yeah. It's one of the best things you could do. I always hear, I have kids here. I have family here. Well, tell them to get out. Why would you stay on a sinking ship? Because your family's going to stay on a sinking ship? If you're in a state like California, get out. Get out. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I know I've been writing you about this for probably 3-4 years, I guess at this point. I'm glad you're finally out of there. But yeah, you've got all these people that have YouTube channels that are over there talking about how bad it is. So in my mind, I don't think they really believe what they're preaching. I think they're just out there. It's good talking points. It's
Right.
good. It's good for their show, but
Right.
I think they're making a big mistake staying over there.
And this is not a move you do overnight. I get it. But if you're really walking the walk, you really believe what you're saying, you should be making an exit plan now. You should have a strategy and start, making your move out. It may be a year from now. That may be too late. I don't know. I know that Bill Holter said, I got out of California by the skin of my teeth just in time. We still have to go back and get everything and bring it back here. But if you're really walking the walk and you live in a cesspool, why are you living in a cesspool? Why are you staying there? It took me a few years to get all this done, but I wanted to have the cash to do it. I wanted to be in the right place. This was a long move, and things were not improving. I was hoping that they would improve. They didn't. And so I followed through with the exit strategy, and here I am in Alabama of all places. But I will tell you this, it has been fantastic every time I'm here. The people, the country, everything. The animals out here, it is a breath of fresh air. I know a lot of people, you just can't make people happy. People go, oh, JB, you'll never move, you'll never do it. And then you do it. And then they say, well, you'll move back in 6 months because you can't handle the humidity. Does it look like I can't handle the humidity? What's the date today? We're in August. What is, so 21st. It's raining. We're outside. We've been outside half the day. Does it look like, I'm going to melt? You just can't please people, but you can't do things for other people. You have to do things for yourself and your own family.
Yeah. Just to go back with you talking about getting out. I know I hear people talk about like, oh, well, if it gets bad, then I'll leave. It's too late at that point.
Yeah.
I lived through, I know I've talked about this on the channel, but I lived through the Rita Katrina thing when I lived in Houston. And when everyone evacuated that city, the highways literally became parking lots. And so if you have a catastrophic event across the United States and everyone's trying to get out of the city because there's rioting, looting, whatever's going on, and everyone's trying to leave, you're not leaving. So you're stuck there. So you need to have somewhere that you can go get out before this happens, or get out now while the getting's good.
So yeah, I mean that's another great point. But yeah, some people are saying, the house is too close to the water. It's gonna sink into the lake. This house is almost as old as I am, still here. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, it's actually a really nice house. But go ahead.
I got this. So I don't know why it is, but misery
Loves company.
likes company, and I think these people are miserable and they want to see you fail. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of is just they're upset that you're thriving, that you're finally doing what you said you were doing, and I mean, they're just haters. That's the only thing that I could think of.
Oh, you shouldn't have bought gold. It's going to 800. You shouldn't have bought
Yeah.
silver. It's going to 8. Same thing. You can't please people. So you have to do what you think you need to do for you and your family. And I'm not here to please anybody. And everybody has the right to say whatever they want to say. I think it's really funny. But I wish people would just use that energy and work on their own lives and just, chase their passions and get out of these places, because you are going to run out of time. I really, truly believe that. Bill Holter, last year was shaking his head, man, you better get the hell out of California. What are you waiting for? Yada, yada, yada. And, to me, I'm a patient person. It had to be the right property. I had to have a pond. I had to have property. It had to be the right house, the right size, the right area. All these things go into it. But I finally did it. It feels great. There's no regrets whatsoever. It just feels so peaceful and calm here. I absolutely love it. I can't wait till everybody gets here and the animals get here and the whole family gets here. It's going to be great. But going back to the economy, this is another reason. It's much cheaper to live down here. Taxes are much better. And it's much safer, because I do believe we're going to see a Mad Max event take place in America. Now, will that result from a market meltdown, the dot-com bubble 2.0 bursting, or will it be a cyber attack? Who knows? Could be a dollar collapse, could be some big bank going, as you've said. It could be a number of things. It could be multiple things. And I had to think, is this where, do I want to be over there? Do I want my family over there when things happen? Or do I want to be here where I can watch it from a television and not my front window? Doug Casey, another guy who moved out. He moved out to Uruguay, and he has a ranch in Aspen, I believe. And he's got acreage, he's got cattle, and he just doesn't want to be in a state or a city. He'd rather be in his 300-acre ranch in Aspen or Uruguay when things break. And like he said, he will be watching it from his television. So I think we're sitting on a powder keg. And when the economy goes, then you're going to watch society go with it. And I've never seen so many vicious, violent people. And we'll look back and think these were really good times. But imagine what this is going to look like when all hell breaks loose, when this economy breaks, inflation runs out of control. If they do raise rates, if they do cut rates, inflation is just going to continue to elevate. What are your thoughts on any of that?
Yeah. So if we talked about this in the video yesterday, and just while we're talking about this, please go back and watch all the videos because there's been a lot. So if you're just seeing this, go check out the other ones. But we talked about it yesterday. I think the Fed is between a rock and a hard place. If they lower interest rates, that's just going to increase inflation. If they raise them, it's going to kill it. So I think they're just pausing because they don't know what to do. I think they're just trying to
Hope.
and pray and hold out until this, until something finally breaks.
At the end of the day, I just see more people hurting in America, more people just working paycheck to paycheck, more people just trying to stretch a dollar. How much farther can you stretch it? How many part-time jobs can you have? There's only 24 hours in the day. There's only 7 days a week. And people are moving in together. The families are moving back together. People are using buy now, pay laters. They're living off credit cards. They have zero money literally in the bank. Their savings have completely evaporated. And unless the government sends them money, I just don't know how they're going to continue to keep propping up this economy, I guess, with credit cards. And if we didn't have credit cards right now, these stores would be empty, in my opinion.
Right. So what was it? When did credit cards come out? 60s? Early 70s? Something like that. Anyway, so back in 50s, 60s, you used to be able to have a man could go to work, support his entire family. Mom could stay home with the kids, raising the kids. Then, probably about the 80s or so, mom had to start going to work. So then your kids are in daycare. And so your kids are being raised by, the school systems.
And they could tax two people instead of one.
Right. And so, it takes two incomes to make it. Now it takes two incomes plus having side hustles or working multiple jobs. So the quality of life just keeps getting worse and worse and worse as this dollar collapse.
And you mentioned, the man could go work. He had a pension too. He could retire with a nice pension. How many people watch this video are going to retire with a pension? Probably not many. And then you have to think, well, if you do have a pension and you're going to retire in 10 years, are you guaranteed to have that pension? Or are you going to take a 25% haircut, a 50% haircut? Could your pensions just evaporate? Yes, they could. That's going to be another problem here because pensions are also in very, very big trouble. So a lot of people believe that they're just going to retire and ride off into the sunset, but pensions are in very, very big trouble, unfunded. And that's going to be a big, big problem. And we're seeing people all over the place in their 80s now working because inflation is just killing their Social Security checks. So they're on a limited income, fixed income. Inflation's rising. They can't stretch it, ladies and gentlemen. So you're seeing people in their 80s working at Walmart, working at a restaurant. These people shouldn't have to be working at this point, but they are. So.
Yeah. So Social Security, I guess they do the COLA, cost of living allowance adjustment. But they've been doing what, 2-3%? I think they did an 8% maybe a couple years ago. But 2 and 3% is not keeping up with what true inflation is, which they're lying about that. But true inflation is probably high teens, low 20s. So that's not keeping up. And I know it was Alan Greenspan. He said, years ago that they will always be able to write Social Security checks. They can just print the money, but they can't guarantee the purchasing power.
Yep.
So they'll just keep printing. I don't think Social Security will go away, but it probably just won't buy.
2034, you're supposed to get a 20% haircut. So and who knows, by 2030, you could be getting a 20% haircut. Yeah. They're always wrong. So it's going to be very interesting. I think Fed Powell is going to speak tomorrow at Jackson Hole, see if he can boost up the markets. I don't know. I really don't know how this is all going to play out. I mean, we've been really busy on the property here, so it's been hard to follow a lot of this stuff, but I wanted to check in with everybody. We're going to be heading back tomorrow, but very interesting times. If you have the means, you have the ability to maybe get out of the big city or to get out of an area that you're not, seeing positive signs. Maybe it's time to have that talk at dinner with the family. I know a lot of people in California are talking about leaving. There's a lot of people here in Alabama from California, and nobody's even shocked when you say you're from California at this point because they're here. Hopefully, prayfully, they don't ruin this state because it's a really, really good state. It's a very red state. There's a lot of freedom here, and hopefully we keep it that way. So we don't want, people coming here ruining it. I'm certainly not going to, but we're going to be paying close attention to what's happening in this economy in the next coming days. We'll be shooting more videos on the road tomorrow, so please continue to watch those. Please like, share, and subscribe. Aaron, anything you want to close with?
No, it's It's been great. It's been fun. It was exhausting on that skid steer. As much as I love it, that thing bounces you around and wears you out. But I'm dropping a video shortly. Texas Silver. It's about FAFO and the wildlife here and the gators that are here. So again, stay away. There's going to be big dogs. There's going to be big guns.
Big gators.
There's going to be big gators, big bugs, big spiders. So
Yeah, there's some big bugs out here, some big spiders, but no, it's. I know a lot of people call it Jurassic Park, JB Alcatraz, whatever. There's some big birds out here too. Everything out here is big, big snakes, big racers.
There hadn't been one mosquito.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten bit by.
I don't think there's one.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing your perch and all that eat all the little mosquito larvae. But yeah, I don't think there's been one mosquito out here.
Yeah, I got a couple ant bites, but on my legs running through the grass. But other than that, it's been not bad at all. But people told me that I wouldn't stand the bugs. I couldn't take the humidity. The people would not accept me. They've been wrong about everything. It's been a great place. I highly advise it. If you want to come to Alabama, you don't want to ruin the state, you're looking to bring your family to a really good place, I would look at some parts of Alabama because there's really some good things here. It's very simple. I know like Huntsville's booming, a lot of jobs up there in tech, engineering, all that stuff. But who knows? That could turn too, and we're seeing layoffs up there too, as we're seeing layoffs across the country. So, just go where you feel you should be going. Make sure you have the money to do it. Some people are lucky enough to work from home. Wonderful. Also, what I do want to say really, really quick, and I should have talked about this earlier, Starlink. Your thoughts on Starlink? You told me to get it. You had it before me. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so I don't even know what it's considered, but it was, I guess, a satellite to satellite, but on the, up on a tower. I don't even know what that's called. But anyways, I'd heard Starlink, and yes, it is a little pricey because you have to buy all the equipment, but I was paying, I think, $150 a month for crappy internet. But it was the only service that was out there. And so Starlink, I kept hearing about it, so I looked into it, I got it. The speeds are great, at least compared to what I had.
Yeah.
And it's $30 cheaper a month. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. If you have access to, whatever that is, fiber optic, it's not going to perform as good. But if you're out in the sticks, it's great.
Yeah, we have fiber optic back in Palm Desert. It's very fast. But I was just like, look, if I can load a video up in under an hour and a half, I can live with that. But we're doing videos 4K in like 45 minutes, which is unbelievable. We're in the middle of nowhere. We're literally in Jurassic Park here, middle of nowhere, and it is unbelievable. And I wouldn't really, it would probably be difficult to live in a place like this if you didn't have internet access, right? We're dependent on it. And if you make videos, you're dependent on it. You got to be able to upload videos. I want to be able to read the news. I want to go to all the sites. I read a lot of the of the news channels. I watch a lot of reaction videos, things like that. And so it's an important tool, no doubt. We today it is a complete tool. People have to have it for work, for pleasure, whatever. But yeah, it would be probably a deal breaker if you couldn't have internet. But now you can live in places like this.
Yeah.
It's not fiber optic, but man, it gets the job done. And download speeds are extremely fast. Really, like no difference on download speeds here versus our fiber optic back in the desert. Upload, yes. What might take me 10 or 15 minutes to upload now maybe might take 45, 50 minutes, but it gets the job done. And it allows you to live in places that you may not be able to had been able to live, years ago. So the technology, absolutely amazing. And they're going to continue to put more satellites up in space, and the service will only get better. And yeah, I pay $120 a month. I'm paying less than I am back in the desert, which is nice. But yeah, you have to buy the equipment. It was like $350 for the Generation 3 Starlink. Okay, you're all set. You're in business. $120 a month. It's absolutely incredible. If you have poor internet and you want to improve it, get Starlink. If you're thinking about living in a remote area like this and you need internet, Starlink. And I know a lot of people probably decided not to live too remote because they didn't have internet. Well, now it's not an excuse. You can live wherever you want.
Yeah, yeah, and this is not a plug. He's not getting paid for Starlink. It's just,
It's amazing.
you know, if there's a product out there that we like and believe in, we're going to pass it along.
We would not be sitting here making this video today without Starlink. There's
Yeah.
absolutely nothing here. So this is all we had was Starlink, and I was like, man, I sure hope it works when we get there. I sure hope it works out.
Yeah, he was stressing.
Yeah, Aaron did not. You know, he was. 100%.
I was like, no, bro, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it.
He was absolutely right. Yeah, great thing to have. So I'm going to leave it there. I just want to mention that because if you are thinking about moving into a remote area, Starlink will take care of it for you. It's fantastic. So I can't say enough about it. So yeah, Aaron did not disappoint when he mentioned to get Starlink. So look, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Have a wonderful evening, Aaron.
Just real quick, one last thing. Keep the comments coming. I know we've been addressing some trolls. And look, it's not that JB's, you know, gets upset about it or gets triggered. He actually has a really thick skin. Most of the negative troll comments, we actually bust out laughing. I'll be like, hey, dude, look at this. I'll read it, and he'll start laughing. So it doesn't bother him. But we address it because a lot of times it brings up a good talking point.
Yeah.
So it's not that we're trying to justify anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, you know what? We need to talk about that. That's a good video. So trolls, keep on going. Keep supporting the channel. You're his best fans. So
Most loyal.
yeah,
You're
definitely.
also the most terrified. And I pray for you. I want you to get prepared. Time is running out. Every month, every year, I've been making these videos. The debts and deficits increase, get much worse. The crimes across America, the violence gets much worse. Now we're in multiple wars. It's getting worse. Things are just getting worse. Unemployment's getting worse. You just look at what's happening. The housing market getting worse. It's all happening at the same time. It's a very slow burn, but it's getting worse every month, every week, every month, every year. Go back 10, 15, 20 years ago and compare where we are as far as debt, deficits, the economy, inflation. Is inflation really getting better? I mean, anybody out there really believe it's getting better? Do you really think things were better, are better now than they were 3 or 4 or 5 years ago? They're worse. Completely worse. I mean, look, is your home insurance getting better? Is your health insurance getting better? Are your food prices getting better? Are you paying more or less for a coffee today? Most of these things are getting worse. So people will say, where's the collapse? You've been living in a collapse since 2008. So please wake up, smell the coffee. You've been living in a collapse since 2008. Yes, they pumped a bunch of money in there in between that time till now, and they were able to keep the patient alive. But they're running out of medicine, ladies and gentlemen, and it keeps getting worse. The patient is deteriorating. The patient is not off life support. They're closer to death than ever. This economy is closer to death than ever. So protect yourself. Be careful out there. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please, again, like, share, subscribe. Look forward to talking to each and every one of you when we hit the road tomorrow. Take care. God bless.